Hey guys, Frankie James from Chirping Pucks Podcast.
I mean, I don't know what he's got going on.
Don't beat me up this time, all right?
All right, don't you know. Live here at 1923 Ice Arena. Mike Petrocelli here beside me, but we also got Nick.
Hey, good to be on the Chirping Pucks podcast. You know, it's nice to kind of have a switch role for a change and get to be producer Nick for the night.
Producer Nick.
Yeah, I'm going to try to live up to the role here of producer Frankie.
I love that, actually. And before we get into we have Mike here right next to us. Before we get into it, we got to do our couple mentions.
Oh, yeah.
Got to do a couple mentions, Nick. We got to hit off with our wonderful sponsors all the way around. Just great people. We got to thank JD Pool and Spas.
Oh, yeah.
My pool needs more work.
Yeah, I mean, like we're finally starting to get our nicer weather. We're finally starting to see the sunshine, starting to feel the rays. I'm ready for a splash because I don't have a pool, so you're going to have to carry the load of that.
Pool's ready for you. Pro Edge Hockey Analytics. They just had a big meeting, actually, with a legend. Yeah, Pro Edge is taking off.
Who's the legend?
I don't know if I can drop it just yet. Let me wait and see. And I'll see if I can drop that news. We, of course, got our wonderful patron, Handyman. He came over. I gotta go back over to a little work. But let's get right into it, man.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm excited to be here, to be honest with you.
Right into it. We got the one and only, the only, in my opinion, the one who makes the show go around. Okay, Mike Petrocelli, guys, you're live.
Welcome.
Mike, welcome aboard.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
I'm excited. We've been planning this now for, about 3 months.
It might be a little bit longer than that because you reached out to me after I was on another podcast last October.
Mention that podcast, by the way. Who was that again?
That was the Face Off podcast with Adam Larson.
Good show.
Yeah, it was a good episode. And you reached out to me like right after saying, "Hey, love to get somebody on from the ice rink operations world. Let's do it."
And what exactly is your title?
So my role here, I am technically called the ice operations manager. So
Operations manager. Wow.
Yeah. So the ice part is the very apparent part of what my role is. But it also is kind of multifaceted because I work very closely alongside University of Pennsylvania's facilities and real estate services. Okay. So whenever there's repairs that need to be made in the building,
Bring them like a little closer.
Yeah, maybe everybody tried talking into the center. I think that's where we're losing it.
Oh, yeah?
Center mass. I know it's weird. Usually we have it mounted and it's a lot easier, but
That's true. I want to get into that exactly, like kind of how it all started. Like, how did you become a Zamboni driver here? And was this always something you kind of wanted to do?
Yeah, so I've been in the business now for, I think this year is actually year number 20. I've been doing this on and off in some capacity.
Now the fans not go crazy for that. You're 20. I thought you were 20.
No, and lately my body does not feel like 20. I feel like 80.
Well, you had mentioned some of your playing experience, so I mean, it explains why maybe your body feels a little older than 20.
We'll definitely get into a little bit later on.
Yeah. So to answer your question, though, basically, my good friend and I from high school, we applied for a job at a township rink, Springfield Township, for anybody that's from the Delaware County area that knows the facility.
Shout out.
Shout out.
Yeah. We both applied for a position there. I got turned down originally just because of the fact that I lived outside of the township and they gave priority to township kids, which I understood.
I guess I can respect it.
I can respect that.
Yeah, it made sense. And basically what ended up happening is I just kept showing up to public skating and open hockey sessions, and my boss at the time, he noticed I kept coming even though I got turned down. And about maybe 3 or 4 months after that, I was there on the day. He actually had to let somebody go because they just weren't working out. And he was like, "Hey, you're here all the time. You're here every session. I know you're available. And I know you play hockey, so I can offer you free ice time as a benefit."
We were just talking about that.
Yeah. So he was just like, "Hey, this is now available again. Are you still interested?" I said, "Hell yeah." And started out as a rink attendant, kind of worked my way up, and spent probably about, I want to say 14 or 15 years there as a driver. And then took a year or two off, but I still worked at the rink as one of the referees for the developmental league.
Okay.
And then I was looking to make a change in my professional career and leave teaching, and a recruiter from Penn saw that I was open to work and said, "Hey, I saw this was part-time work on your profile. This is full-time benefits. Interested?" And I said,
Let's get it better than that.
I looked at my wife, and she was like, "Why the hell are you asking me? And why didn't you apply yet?" And I applied, and now I'm here for almost 4 years later.
Hockey, free ice, just taking the biz by storm.
Zamboni.
And it's absolutely incredible. And it kind of segues into the next part I want to talk about, which was your first time driving a Zamboni. I mean, listen, we see them out there, and it's a work of art. And just real quick, just gotta give another mention. The boys.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to Rob, to Cheryl, to whoever. We had a few people in our conversation. Just want to give them a little shout out. But we got a little swag bag.
Oh, really? Yes, the swag bag.
How did I have a little mention? I'm sitting here with my new shirt on.
Yeah, it looks fresh. It looks fresh.
You look fresh.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You got a couple compliments on that jersey, buddy. Actually, by both the gentlemen that we had in here.
I mean, it was, if anything, it's the smell test. Because if you wear this jersey and like somebody who's a fan of hockey doesn't make a comment on the jersey, then it's like, okay, like they like hockey, but like, do they love hockey? That's the question. And they both passed the smell test right away.
We got a game behind us too going on right now.
I know, dude. I'm actually pretty stoked about that.
I know it's hard to focus. I can hear the boys buzzing out there. But tell us a little bit about your first time driving a Zamboni, and we're gonna get into our next order of topics.
Yeah, so this probably would have been, I'm trying to think back. It probably would have been when I was about maybe 17 or 18 or so. It was a old 526 Zamboni. And the machine itself was in decent shape, but it was starting to get to the point where it needed to be
It's one of the topics, actually. It's literally
the machine.
itself.
I love it.
And then basically, my rink for the longest time, it was just the training. Like, how do I put this? We were trained, and we had the benefit at my facility of having a 15-minute cut window.
Okay.
We could actually get the ice ready over a 15-minute period, and it wasn't an NHL size sheet like what we have here. It's 200 by 85. The rink was like maybe 150 by 70.
Get your pen and papers out, everybody. You guys are getting hit with some knowledge right now, people, from the best in the biz.
Yeah, there's going to be a pop quiz later.
Already failing.
We would have definitely found that one. That's why we got Mike Petrocelli here.
Yeah, but then, fast forward a couple of years after driving, we actually bought a second machine, which is kind of ironic considering who we had here yesterday. We actually had the Columbus Blue Jackets here for practice.
Shout out.
Courtesy. Thank you so much, Columbus Blue Jackets, for delicious smart water.
I feel like a better player already.
Yeah, they're not a sponsor, so that's all we're going to say.
But yeah, ironically, since we had them here yesterday, one of the second machines that we bought, so we had two machines at the facility, was one from the Columbus Blue Jackets, and my boss kept the wrap on it. It actually has the Blue Jackets logo, and it's still on there to this day.
That's actually pretty cool.
But yeah, as far as like the first time driving it, it was pretty intimidating. It's definitely different than driving a car for certain machines.
I don't do that either.
Yeah.
Do you have to have a license or any kind of certifications?
Technically, no. It's funny you just asked that. I have a guy right now that's in training. I
Shout
spent all morning with
Get him in here.
I spent all
Get him
morning
with the pop quiz, Mike.
He's only on day 3, so I'm
Yeah, let's go. Day 3.
Just brutally burst this bubble live on the podcast.
But yeah, ironically, the kid is about 22 years old.
Okay.
Never had a driver's license.
Okay.
Never even driven so much as a go-kart. And
How's he doing?
he's doing great.
Love that.
I'm actually, considering he has no driving experience, I am kind of floored.
And I'm sure you come across, and we don't get too much into it, people that come and think they know it all. I mean, they're out there, Nick.
I can imagine.
People come and they just swear that they know what they're talking about. You don't know anything. You don't know how to drive the Zamboni.
You don't even know which way to turn.
Actually, me personally, I would have no idea which way to turn. I feel like I gotta get a crash course here for
Well,
some.
I got to say, as a take on to what he had to say, I mean, in reality, I think that's probably a good way to look at it, is that like they become the perfect student because they have no knowledge of driving anything else. So this is the first thing you're touching. And let's be honest, we all know how slow Zambonis go. So like that's probably a great advantage to them as well, where it's like, okay, they can take their time. They don't feel rushed. There's not a bunch of cars around them pushing them to go faster. they can go their pace and just listen to your instructions the whole time.
I would go right to the boards.
Yeah,
I would go
you'd probably
right
cause some
to
real
the boards, dude.
damage.
I would just be like, I can't do this.
And then you would uncomfortably just get off and be like, I'm sorry. And then just walk out.
That's why I got to have a guy like Mike Petrocelli here. Nick, do you want to add anything before we get into our next topic?
No.
Let's keep on cruising then. Once again, we got Mike Petrocelli here live at the 1923's Ice Arena. I got some great memories here from reffing. And I still say to this day, on air or off air, it's the best ice that I've ever got a chance to be on. I mean, if I'm skating backwards, I'm not doing the old woo-hoo. I mean, we're in good hands.
Catching a little rut, every once in a while. I imagine you don't get that here. And honestly, this is my first time being here. I haven't gotten a chance to be blessed to skate on the ice. But let me talk about aura, like presence when you walk in. Yeah. It's like I got my gear in the car. I mean, I was considering seeing if the benches look a little light.
There's a few short benches behind us.
Benches look a little light if they need a sub.
That was a good one, dude. I was wondering, because you're the perfect. So Nick's in front of us, and he's looking out right now. We got kind of the view behind me and Mike here, and he's mentioning how there's a few short benches behind him, and Nick's always got his gear. But you kind of mentioned the machine itself, dude, and this is a machine that all we know is it cleans the ice. Can you break down a little bit about the machine? Just in your terms, more or less. And I'm going to get into it a little bit here, just a little bit about the machine itself and just kind of like how it operates.
Yeah. So generally speaking, how do I put this? So all ice resurfacers, regardless of brand, they all do 4 basic things. They're always cutting, they're always collecting, they're cleaning and washing the ice, and then more importantly, they're replacing the ice that you're scraping away. But as far as like actually driving them and getting the feel for them, the one advantage we have with our machines, they're from a brand called Olympia, which is produced by a company called Resurf Ice.
Oh, shout
out. The model years that we have are referred to as a gas and brake system. So it is literally just like the gas and brake in a regular automobile. Whereas most Zambonis and newer machines, they are what's referred to as a hydrostatic system. Mm-hmm. So basically your brake is there.
Bring that mic over. Sorry.
Okay. So basically the brake, it's there, but it doesn't really serve a whole lot of purpose because the second you take your foot off the gas, the hydraulic fluid basically causes the wheels to lock up. So it almost acts as like an automatic brake the second you let off the throttle.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. But with our machines, because it's a regular gas and brake pedal, you put your foot on the brake, the machine comes to a stop. If you let your foot off the gas, it will keep rolling with its momentum until friction stops it.
Yeah,
I wanted to ask this question because we talked about this earlier, and this is about the breakdown. If you want to
have you ever actually had a Zamboni breakdown like mid cut on the ice? So like, what's kind of like the procedure? Because I'll say I work like warehousing, so like there's a procedure for heavy duty machinery breaking down, but it's not on the ice. So I'm curious to hear what your guys like. Especially you said you just got a second equipment. I don't know if that is part of it. But having one piece of equipment, I'm curious to hear like what would be the procedures for that.
Yeah, so there is an emergency protocol for when something happens. Number one is when you're driving, if the machine just comes to a stop and dies on you, the number one thing is you shut off the water, both your wash water and your flood water.
Okay.
Because if you're stationary and you let water flow over ice, eventually it's going to bore all the way down to your floor.
Okay.
You're going to have patches and spots where your paint goes away, and you got a lot of leg work ahead of you to get the ice safe again. The second thing is you got to get the towel off the ice. If your machine has a towel that you drag behind it, some of the newer machines don't have towels; they have a spraying system instead. But
it's a see the spraying thing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
How much water does it take to actually kind of cut the ice?
So it kind of depends on what you're
getting real technical with you. I wanted to ask the Mike Petrocelli.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you're good. It really depends on what your goal is for your ice make. But generally speaking, you try to make what you're taking. So whatever ice you're scraping away, you want to try and replace it with that adequate amount of hot water and make what you took away. But generally speaking, anytime we go out with our machines onto the floor, we're usually carrying anywhere from about 350 to 400 some odd gallons of water.
Wow, that's a lot.
Usually on most machines, it's as far as like a ratio of hot to cold water. The hot water is usually anywhere from about 200 to 300 gallons, depending upon the size of your machine. And the wash water is usually about 50 to 60, sometimes 70 gallons, give or take.
That's a lot of water. That's a lot of water.
That's a lot of water. And where it gets really tricky for facilities is that, if you look at your regular water bill for your house, some places you get billed not only the water that's coming into your building, but you get billed on the water that's going back into the sewers.
Oh, wow.
And with ice rinks specifically, a smart GM of an ice rink will talk to their water company and just say, like, hey, like 90% of what I am consuming is not going back down the drain. So we got to make sure we adjust our bill accordingly.
Yeah. I mean, and that kind of goes into, I know, like with a lot of guys who, like, I'm a beer league guy, when your fees go up and stuff like that, like that.
You can say word. I know I haven't been playing as much.
Yeah.
But come on now.
Yeah.
Give me my credit.
You got to get back into it. You're a sub right now.
I was hurting. All right. I had the issues.
Hey, look. We'll get you back into it. But like, like when you get charged fees and stuff like that, or even for like the lower level, like the kids and stuff like that for like their yearly costs, a lot of that goes into it. Because I can imagine we just talked about the hundreds and hundreds again. I didn't think it was to that extent. So I can only imagine what the cost of that alone would be. So it kind of makes sense when like you feel like you're paying a lot.
I know we were having this discussion just about the expense with the equipment and stuff like that. For like a machine goes down, I mean, I can only imagine how expensive that is. And before we get to our next topic, once again, here we are live at the Class of 1923 Arena, sitting here with Mike Petrocelli, producer Nick. First time they gave us little gifts.
I know.
We got a game behind us going on right now. But I want to talk about a little bit like life behind the ice, like what kind of goes into preparing the ice for like before a game. How long does ice cut take properly? Like you guys have a game, you're getting ready to cut the ice. What kind of are some of the preparations that go into that? If you want me to ask him.
Generally speaking, for most of our day, when it comes to getting the ice ready, it just simply is a matter of taking the machine out and going and doing a cut. But for like proper ice maintenance, like I'll use the Columbus Blue Jackets as an example.
Oh, that's a good example.
Good example.
So when we had Columbus here, they're used to super high quality NHL ice for as far as their standards.
Get that mic right there. Attaboy.
Look, I'm getting ready to make out with it.
Yeah, it's tough. It's close.
So if you come up here, it echoes in. So if you're right on it, you'll be able to hear it much more clear. Nobody's ever used that mic before. You're the first one. So it's all clean.
All right, cool. But yeah, so for NHL teams when they come here, generally speaking, we'll go out and we'll edge the ice. So we actually have a separate tool that's not attached to our ice resurfacers that strictly cuts down ice along the kick plate or the boards. And what that actually does is it allows the runner on the driver's side, which is like a pretty decent sized piece of metal that sits on the bottom of the conditioner. It basically rests down in that groove. So that way when you're driving along the boards and you get tight to the kick plate, the blade actually makes level flat contact across the entire width of the blade.
Yeah.
To help keep your ice level across the entire sheet.
Okay, yeah. So it's like almost like chipping it down a little bit on the end boards. Yeah. Okay.
Mike Petrocelli just getting like I said, get your pen and paper out because he's hitting you with the facts.
And that's awesome to know because, like you said, it's you got an NHL team coming and like they expect high level ice that they're skating on. It's like to just have that honor, to be honest with you, probably feels awesome. Like that's definitely a feather in your hat as a Zamboni driver for sure.
It definitely is, and if I can divulge, I actually have an interesting NHL story.
Oh, by all means, by all means.
We're
ready.
I think we got some time here.
Especially in relation to this building. So I was here for maybe about 4 or 5 months. I had pretty much just started, and we hosted the Ottawa Senators right around my birthday.
Wow.
And
was G going over? Was G here?
Yeah, it was actually his first practice.
Drew. Oh,
yeah, it was his first practice.
Got to know G very well.
But yeah. Basically, what ended up happening, I went out. I think they were skating at noon, and it was a full practice. It wasn't like a morning skate where they only go out there for a half hour or whatever. Full team practice, and I did probably, I want to say about maybe 3 hours of ice maintenance between edging, cross cutting, figure eights, get the sheet level, do a couple of floods, make sure it was perfect, get the ice up to the playing temperature that they're used to.
Yeah.
Or, play the way the puck. And
down there, eat a piece of pizza.
Well,
I just walked away. Shout out to Rob. Sorry, Rob distracted me with you.
Well, and I was going to say that kind of brings me into a question that I kind of have is like, As a player who plays on it, like I'm still not as versed on what would be considered good ice versus bad ice. Like what really are the defining factors to the two different styles of ice you would consider?
That's a great question. If I can back up for just one
Yeah,
second.
yeah. Oh, by all means. By all means.
I wanted to finish the Ottawa story.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Thanks a lot, Rob, for distracting us with
Yeah,
pizza.
the pizza.
It's okay. It happens to me whenever I see Rob with pizza too, because I'm figuring out the rest of it. But yeah, so I caught the guys as they were coming off the ice at the end of practice, and specifically, I was talking at length with Brady Tkachuk.
Oh.
And when they were coming off, Austin Watson was standing in the tunnel doing media with like a media press junket with the Ottawa press.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Brady, and I just said, "Hey, I'm just curious. You know, we spent a fair amount of time doing maintenance this morning, making sure we were ready to go for you guys. I'm just curious, how was the ice?" And his exact words were, "Dude, the ice here, it's better than our game ice back home."
Wow. Shout out to Ottawa. Shout out to Ottawa.
Fans absolutely go crazy for that.
Shout out to Ottawa on that.
And the funny part was that I thought at first the guy was just yanking me. Like, I really thought he was messing with me, like just saying like, "Oh, yeah, I'm just gonna tell this guy whatever to go away." And Austin Watson overheard the whole exchange, and I'm like, "Brady, like, don't mess with me." And he
Braids.
Yeah, braids.
Austin Watson looks at him and then looks at me and he goes, "I can tell just by looking at Brady's face when he's messing with somebody or if he's being serious. He's being dead serious."
Oh yeah, yeah. I feel like he wouldn't be the type of dude who would kind of pull your chain on something like that. So that's awesome to hear.
I mean, I remember when Tony D'Angelo, funny story about him, and he was coaching East Coast Prime for World Junior Selects would play hockey. And there was this, I got to know Tony from being local and from actually when he was coaching with Joel Farabee and Regan O'Grady. Regan's one of the coaches now over the OHL. I mean, they're straight shooters, dude. I remember one time some kid came up to him and was like, "Hey, coach, how did that look?" He said, It was the worst effing play I ever heard I ever saw in my life. Get back on the bench." I was like, okay. Okay. And by the way, shout out to not dropping any F-bomb, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
We're doing pretty good here.
Yeah, we're doing really, really good. It's a struggle.
It's a family show. It's a family show tonight. Well, so
To answer your question,
Yeah.
though, about like what makes good ice versus bad ice, it's kind of a loaded question, but I'm going to kind of give you the Cliff Notes version. A lot of it has to do with the skill of your operators, right? So having an operator versus a driver, which there is a huge difference.
Yeah.
You know, the way I tell it, the way I said it to my team that I had here this morning, the difference between a driver and an operator is a driver can simply get the machine on and off the ice safely, get the ice cut, and get, back off without hurting themselves, damaging the machine, or hurting anybody else. An operator can do all of that, but then more importantly, while they're out there running the machine, they can actually make adjustments to what they're doing based off of what the ice is saying it needs.
Yeah.
Because the ice will actually tell you what needs to be done.
Yeah, the way it dries and stuff.
Exactly.
Okay.
And it's good telltale sign if you're ever at a rink and you're asking yourself, is this guy an operator or a driver? An operator will spend probably half, if not more, of their time while they're out there looking behind them rather than looking forward where they're steering to. Because if they're looking behind and they see it, okay, I just passed over that area that's a problem spot, I know I got to budget some time on the back end of the cut to go back, hit it again, so that way hopefully that rough spot smooths itself out after the ice freezes and bonds, and then it's safe to skate on for your next user. But then as far as outside of what the operator can control, the rest of it comes down simply to the quality of your equipment and the quality of your arena conditions.
Okay.
So like a challenge that we do have here at certain times of the year, particularly the summer, is that this building was built back in the late 1960s and opened in 1970. It was really not designed to be basically a year-round facility like it is now.
Yeah.
So when it gets to the dog days of summer between June and August, trying to maintain the humidity and right air temperature in this building can be very challenging.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
And then now conversely, when you have, a stupid cold winter like what we had back in January and February, my compressors on my chiller, they barely came on. Like I actually had a kind of a panic moment one day when we had, I think it was like minus 10 degree wind chill and the real feel was like 5. I come in And when we look at our chillers, we take readings every so often to see what our sending and leaving temps are. And I look at my my capacity, which tells me how hard my compressors are running. And it said 0%.
Oh, Lord.
And when 0% usually comes up on that screen, that's like, call the Pope, call the president. We got a problem.
The Pope's coming.
Yeah. Like,
I mean, you look like Jesus a little bit. So maybe you're going to show up.
Yeah, I mean, I might show up the next time something like that happens and see if I can't work some miracles. For free ice time, I'll do anything. I'll bring a horse and I'll bless that and whatever it takes.
Listen, if it was true, we would have been
smart
water.
water.
Turn it into wine, wouldn't you, buddy?
but yeah, so I saw that and then I had to stop and like kind of catch myself. And I'm like, wait a minute, it's 5 degrees outside. It feels like -10 or -15. The ambient air temperature in here was so cold that there wasn't enough heat being absorbed into the ice to tell my chillers and my compressors to kick on.
Wow.
So I basically was able to operate for probably the better part of, I'd say, maybe 5 to 6 hours without my compressors being on at all, which
Save some money.
Out of the 4 years that I've been here, or almost 4 years I've been here, I've never seen that happen.
Wow. Yeah, it was a cold one. It was a cold one.
Yeah. And then the last thing that also can really affect your ice quality, and it's one that most people don't think of, it's actually the overall relative humidity level in your building. So
it's not bad in here.
No, it's
We've
nice.
been in some cold. I mean, Grundy, not the plug another rink. I mean, they're probably one of the coldest rinks. I mean, it's too cold.
Yeah, a little too cold.
But they always. I'll tell you this: my experience here, I've never heard of any. You can't use the rink or we're shut down. I mean, I've never seen anything like that over here, and I've seen that a lot.
Yeah.
In other rinks, and that probably has something to do with just how the rink is maintained.
And consistency, like the more consistently you take care of it the proper way, it will stay cleaner and nicer longer. You have less things to correct.
I want to touch on that because honestly, if there was one, and I thought about this earlier, just on a few notes I made, if there was one word I could describe just the maintenance here, it's consistency.
Consistency, yeah.
Always consistent. So that's a great take there that you just mentioned. And my last question on this topic is, not that it matters. Well, it may matter. That's what we're going to ask you. Do any teams ever request a certain type of way, or you just say, "Hey, I know what I'm doing. I'm just going to take care of business." Like, hey man, you didn't cut that over. Yeah, I'm sure you get a little shit out of that.
You missed the spot.
Truth be told, overall, we generally get a lot of compliments about our ice, and we don't get much in the way of complaints. I'm trying to think of an example I can give you. Here's a good one. Back in, it was December of this past December of 2025, we hosted probably the biggest ice-related event this building has ever hosted, called American Gold Live. It was 2 shows, and I want to say it was 13 or 14 figure skaters, as well as like a youth figure skating group that is based out of Ice Skates down in Austin.
Oh, so Johnny Weir here?
No, he was supposed to be originally, but apparently there was like a scheduling conflict or something. But a couple of the big names though were people that ended up being in Milan for the Winter Olympics for figure skating, representing the United States. So like Alyssa Liu, Isabel Levito, Ilya Malinin.
I did photos of Isabel.
Yeah,
she's down at Igloo.
Yeah, she's over at Mount Laurel.
She's in Mount Laurel. Yeah, I did photos of her for a figure skating competition. She's incredible.
Yeah,
absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I actually have one funny story too about Ilya Malinin specifically. So, as you guys know, he's referred to as the quad god. He does everything in 4s, right? But he's also one of the only skaters. And granted, I don't follow figure skating that closely because mainly I'm too busy here, maintaining this place.
Someone's got to maintain the rink, Nick.
Yeah.
Okay. Someone's got to maintain the rink for the boys.
But but with Ilya Malinin, he's one of the only people that I know of, at least in competition figure skating, that can actually pull off a backflip. Because there's a fair amount of competitions that have actually banned that move ever since Scotty Hamilton skated back in like the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, I don't know much about figure skating, but I know that I saw there was a lot of rumblings. Like people were upset that that was allowed because for a long time that was not a move that was allowed.
Hit that just this past Winter Olympics.
Yeah, Milan. Yeah.
And he actually did it here too. And I'll never forget this. It was like halfway through the first show because there was 2 shows that day. He nails one basically like right in front of our scorer's bench, right by the offside faceoff dot. And generally speaking, we carry about 1.5 inches of ice at a minimum for our thickness, just so that way, we don't run the risk of running too thin where, we end up having to cancel a game or something like that. So figure skaters, when they go to jump, generally speaking, what they'll do is they will actually slam their toe pick down into the ice. That's why after a figure skating show or performance, there's like little patch holes everywhere.
How are they to clean up? That's a whole separate conversation, isn't it? Let's continue on.
I could probably do a master thesis on that.
Get your pen and paper there, buddy.
Or a dissertation on that one. But this kid's legs are so strong. I mean, his quads are literally the size of tree trunks. Like they're huge.
Saquon Barkley out there. Dude.
He slammed his toe pick down into the ice so hard, it went through about 1.5 inches of ice and actually popped up a small piece of the ice paint, which is only about 1/16 to 1/8 of an inch above the concrete.
Now, there's no fish in there, right? I heard a lot about ice fishing. I mean, if there was one in there, it would have popped out.
Yeah, there might have been some sushi after that performance. They might have chopped it up right there underneath the ice. Because let's be honest, that's got to be scary as someone who maintains the ice. Like you're seeing your paint.
I feel like sushi. Yeah, we got to work on that one, dude. Sushi.
Look, man, it's a lot to take in. I'm a little stunned.
We are sitting here Mike Petrocelli live in the arena too. Understood.
Like if it was a normal, like regular run of the mill ice slot, I would probably panic in that case. But given the circumstances that like, hey, this kid's an Olympian and he's predicted to sweep gold in like basically every event that he's going to partake in. We all know obviously that didn't happen for one event specifically. Yeah. But I knew it was kind of extenuating circumstances. So I saw it happen because I was standing right at the gate and he comes off for the next skater to go on. And I just pulled him aside. I said, hey, Ilya, I just got to tell you, man, like I'm not really a figure skating person. I really never have been. Like I watched it a little bit when I was growing up. I said, but dude, you're friggin' impressive. Like for me not being into figure skating, like I can at least notice talent when I see talent. Absolutely. And he was like, oh, he was actually like super cool, super nice. And he was just like, oh, like, thank you so much. I appreciate the compliment. Thank you. And I just said, all right, cool. Now that I have your attention, I have a bone to pick with you, buddy.
Let's go. Yeah. You just messed up.
Like, look at what, you better bring a gold medal bag. That'll fix the ice.
And he looks,
he did actually. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, he did.
Shout out.
He all of a sudden I can see like color kind of rush out of his face and he's panicking. I see like a little bead of sweat and I'm like, dude, it's okay. I'm just messing with you. I'm not that mad.
Chirping. That's what we're all about there. Well, this has been great. And once again, we have Mike Petrocelli here, sitting here in the Class 23 arena. We got the boys down there buzzing right now. Let's do one of our favorite segments.
Is it gut check time? It's gut check time?
All right, guys. Do a little gut check. 5 random questions.
I'll show my face for this one.
First thing that comes to your mind, you're going to hit us with it, and then we're going to ease out. Nick, really take the floor with this one.
Yeah, Frankie, cue my music, right? There's music?
Oh, there is.
Cue my music, man. A little bit of Jeopardy here. So this is the gut check. Like Frankie explained, it's quick thinking. So, I mean, obviously take your time. We want to get a good answer here. But so we'll start off easy. I think this should be a good one. Let's hear best NHL player in your opinion.
Best NHL player?
Yeah.
Ooh. For me, and I am a little biased, I'm going to have to say Jason Robertson.
Oh,
no, I can respect that because to be honest with you, you watch him right now. I mean, he's buzzing, and the snub I think really put a fire under his ass, and he's like, I'm going to show you guys why I should have been on that team. 100%. Yeah. I actually like that answer. We're off to a great start.
And I also think too, I was saying this to my parents earlier. I think Dallas.
Shout out to the parents.
Yeah,
I really think Dallas. I mean, I grew up a Dallas fan too.
Yeah.
That's where the bias comes in.
Yeah. It's the one thing that a lot of my friends were asking me about because it's Dallas, Philly.
He's a Detroit fan.
Yeah, I'm a Detroit fan. So.
Oh man, that's rough.
It's unfortunate this month. Well, last month, great. This month, not so great.
Yeah, but and then I would say probably favorite as far as best goalie. As much as I hate to say it, I want to pick Ottinger, but as far as best overall goalie, I'd have to say probably either Igor Shesterkin or Andrei Vasilevsky.
Yeah, I mean, because I feel like Vasilevsky, he's just word of the day, consistent. He's just been so consistently good his whole career.
Boys, a lot of consistency
A lot
here.
of consistency. He's been consistent his whole career. Nah, that was a great segment.
I think Dallas is going to clinch President's Trophy, though. I think they're going to pass Colorado.
That's a hot take. That is because Colorado's a squad, man. That's a squad.
Mhm.
But no, we'll go with you can use this one. Favorite rink you have ever been to?
That I've ever been to?
Ever been to?
Oh, that's a tough one. Well, actually, you know what? No, I take that back. It's not. Because it's a place that was near and dear to my heart. Spectrum.
The Spectrum.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
Spectrum.
I can respect
growing
that.
up, my parents and I, we had season tickets for the Phantoms.
I love the Phantoms.
I was lucky enough to be able to see not only the 2005 Calder Cup win, but I was also there for the 97 Calder Cup win, maybe St. John's Flames.
That's when you were
Oh.
20 years old, Mike.
You're so young.
About that 05 team, I got to do a little shout out. Tony Host, he was part of that team.
Oh, yeah.
Tony was part of that team. That was the year that Carter and Richards all came up the year following. So that's really cool to get to see that. And those jerseys are fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, dude. And to be honest with you, like I understand like the Lehigh move, Lehigh Valley. I understand the Lehigh Valley move, but like it really broke my heart because like as an impoverished child, the Phantoms were like my home. Like we would show up, we wait until like about the start of the second period, and if we saw some of them glass seats and nobody sat there all game, we were running down there. And look, most of the guys, most of the staff members were really cool about it. Like they would let the kids go up and enjoy the glass seats.
Yeah.
And they say, look, if someone comes up and they have a ticket, you got to beat it, and it is what it is.
That's
So
right.
the
That's a great
Spectrum
race.
days, man. Yeah.
Number 3.
Okay, so number 3 is best player you watched up close in person. So I
Could've
mean,
been
obviously
you on
it could be during a live practice or it could be at a game.
Best player I've ever seen in person. I would have to say Mike Modano.
Mike Banana, yeah. I mean, come on now.
Dude, how old are you?
I was born in 1989. I am 36, going on
So am
37.
I.
Oh,
You've
so-
done more than me. I thought.
Yeah.
April 30th is my birthday. I'll be 37.
You got to step your
getting
game up, Frankie. You got to step your game.
I mean, listen, he's an absolute stud.
Mike Madonna,
Absolute beauty.
I honestly love that, and that now I'm kind of envious because even though like I am a Red Wings fan, don't get me wrong, I did enjoy like the '90s Stars team, like and Mike Madonna, obviously the centerpiece of that,
Yeah.
and like he just had swagger. He was one of the few players where he just skated with a certain type of swagger, and like you could kind of tell when in his mind he decided he's scoring, and like it was kind of hard to stop him.
And not only that too, he was also, and a lot of people don't give him credit for this, he was one hell of a two-way player.
Oh yeah,
I mean, he could score, but also too, when Ken Hitchcock said, "Hey, I need you to go out there and kill somebody," he would level somebody.
yeah shout out Ken Hitchcock.
Really fast.
Shout out Ken Hitchcock.
Like, oh well, you know.
Yeah.
You see the shorty.
Yeah, we all know.
All right, so we'll move on to number 4 here. Early morning ice or late night games?
Early morning on every day that ends in Y and twice on Sunday.
You know what? Like I haven't had an early morning game in a while. Mine have all been late nights, and I'm freaking sick of it. I am sick of it.
We kick off on June at the showcase. I think our first game's at 9:30.
I have like a nice cup of coffee before the game.
In.
Yeah, that's kind of like
I'll make sure that you're playing a little later, buddy. We'll give you the 11 o'clock schedule.
9:30 a.m. I'm usually about 6 hours into my workday already.
And that's why we're sitting here with my
Yeah,
breakfast.
and that's why the ice looks so damn good, boys and girls. That's why it looks so good.
Let's get with our final. This
All right,
is
so
what
our
I
final
kinda
one.
had in there.
Your personal accomplishment. So obviously we heard you get the attaboy from Brady Kachuk, which that's sick because I love Brady. We're Kachuk fans over here. I don't care. There's a big group of people who seem to just hate anything they do. Like it doesn't matter if it's good, bad, or between. They're like, I hate the Kachuk boys.
My parents are in that boat too, mainly because my mom couldn't stand Keith Kachuk.
You know, I love the fact that they keep old time hockey alive. Like I mean, I'm wearing my Chiefs jersey. Like they keep that gritty, hard nosed American, Canadian style of game alive, and like a lot of people hate it, but I love it. So, but anyway, personal accomplishments. What's your top one?
Oh, in relation to the ice rink world, I'd have to say it would be a really tough one.
First one that comes to your mind.
First one that comes to my mind would be the fact that I was actually able to earn an industry-related designation that only I think it's like I forget. I gotta go back and count. I want to say there's only about 300 some odd people in the entire United States have it.
Wow, that's incredible.
Among rink operators, it's the Certified Ice Technicians designation from U.S. Ice Rinks Association. That one, I would say, is probably the big one.
Well, yeah, I mean that's an amazing accomplishment.
The next big one right behind it, just I'm saying this because it happened just within about the last week or so. I'm now one of the new members of the board of directors for NISMA, which is the Northeast Ice Skating Managers Association. We basically represent all member rinks for the most part, pretty much from all the way from Maine down to basically the Mid-Atlantic region. And we offer like trainings and seminars and trade shows and stuff like that. That's another big one.
That's a huge accomplishment because, like, you know, like we joke, you're still young. You're young, but like it's passing down the torch and like this next generation, keeping the ice clean, because, you know, our great sport doesn't flourish if we don't have people who give just as much effort and care into keeping the ice clean as the players do playing on it. So
right,
we definitely appreciate your efforts for that.
Yeah, congratulations on that, dude. That's incredible. Yeah, that's a great start, man. That's gut check.
Gut check, man.
Way to go on your first
Look at
gut
that.
check,
I
buddy.
loved it.
Awesome job. We got producer Nick here, 2 Bars, 1 Puck podcast here, hanging out with us once again. Mike Petrocelli next to me live here at the Class of 1923 Arena. I kind of want to get into some things that the fans don't realize. I know we got one more topic after that. And like, what's something that fans completely overlook about your job? Like, you know, we see them just out there, and I'll have you touch on it as well if you want to. But just like the hard work that goes into this is something that is so important. You know, you're keeping it fresh for us, and we've been on some dog shit ice. But like I said, consistency.
Yeah,
It's never happened here.
No,
It's
never.
I mean, it's always been consistent here, but there's never been any issues that I've ever experienced. What's one thing that you think is overlooked by people that get on that ice beforehand?
Ooh. Honestly, I would actually say probably what it takes to actually install and build a new sheet from scratch.
Okay.
So to give you guys kind of a crash course on what we do, we have
Get your pens and papers, people.
we have a concrete based floor. So there's 2 different options in ice rinks. It's either concrete or sand. We have concrete here. And basically what we do is we have a misting boom that's probably about, I'd say the better part of about 8.5 feet, maybe 10 feet wide, with 14 sprayer heads on it that shoot water out in a fine mist. So that way when it lands on the frozen or the refrigerated floor, it flash freezes. It literally freezes in about a split second. And then what we do, we lay down about 10 layers of just plain Jane water on top of the ice, let it freeze. That gives us our base to actually go out and put down our white ice paint, put down all of our lines, our markings, our face-off locations, all that. Then it takes us probably the better part of about 2.5 to 3 days of using that misting boom to build up to 1.5 inches thick. But to put that in perspective, over the span of the roughly 4 days of us actually using the spray boom, because we find that it does make the best sheet. There are other ways to make good ice, but misting is the best way as far as durability and strength. We walk the better part of about 75 to 85 miles across 3 days on top of the ice, on top of the concrete, dragging that thing. And we do the better part of about anywhere from 120 to about 120 boom floods. So every year, you know, I inevitably usually have at least one new person on my icing crew that's never done it before.
Newbies.
And I always tell them 2 things. All right. Well, I tell them 3 things really. One, make sure you go to bed early each night because you're going to need the energy the next morning. Number 2, invest in Advil because you're going to need it. And 3, invest in knee braces. Your knees will thank you afterwards.
Sounds like getting prepared for hockey season.
Dude, I mean, I played hockey all my life, and especially most of it being a goalie. Like,
your knees.
My knees are not that great. But doing an ice in where you're walking the whole time, I've never felt knee pain like that in my life.
Jesus.
Doing it that way.
That's why I thought he was so young.
Yeah.
The mystery's been solved. I love that. And it kind of segues into our final topic. Once again, dude, thanks so much for having us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
Shout out to Rob. Shout out to everybody that has. The final question I got for you is kind of it's a 2-parter. Is playing hockey,
Mhm.
but not only playing hockey, but playing hockey here and in this incredible rink. Tell us a bit about starting to play hockey and just playing here at this rink, because this is a beautiful rink. I mean, obviously got to have Nick come out for the first time and seeing it. We're looking forward to doing some future things here. Just if you can just kind of combine the two, just playing hockey as a goalie, how it started, and then obviously playing here at the rink.
Sure. So I actually, when I started playing, I actually didn't start as a goalie. I mainly started out playing defense, mainly because I liked hitting. But
Shout out.
But then all of a sudden,
shout out to hitting.
everybody got a lot bigger than me, and I stopped growing. So I one day I was at a skills clinic, and the goalie didn't show up, and they said, "Hey, look, we need a goalie. Anybody interested in trying it?" I hadn't tried it yet, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll do it."
No way.
And I could hear my mom kind of like muttering in the background, like, "Oh,
I was gonna say, I'm sure your parents' veins started popping out of their heads a little bit.
All for this equipment.
yeah." I could hear them like kind of muttering in the background, going like, "God damn it." Now I borrowed equipment from the rink that day, but then basically
Was that here?
No, that was at my old rink.
Okay.
So I was at Springfield. But yeah, and then basically the rest is history as far as playing. And then, I played here periodically growing up. We had I played for Cardinal O'Hara in Delaware County.
Father Judge.
Yeah. So I know Flyers Cup is a bitter wound. I know.
Yes, it is.
But
it is.
But yeah.
SOB.
But yeah, so playing here, I had a handful of games, and back then, the rink itself, it's not that like the rink was neglected per se, but it was definitely not in the condition that it is in now.
Yeah.
A lot of work has gone in over the last handful of years to really bring this place kind of back to life compared to what it was. In fact, funny story, when I interviewed for this position, I'm sitting here and
Who'd you interview with, by the way?
Rob.
Shout out to Rob.
Yeah, my boss.
Yeah, where's that pizza at, Rob?
So I'm sitting here, and he's at his seat. I'm at the seat right across his desk, and I'm sitting there looking at him as we're going over things, like going over all the PIQs and the application and whatnot. And I'm thinking to myself the whole time, like, dude, I know you. I know you from somewhere. And we get to the very end, and me being a goalie, I've taken a lot of hits to the head. It takes me a few times to get names down. I said to him, I was like, Rob, pardon me for asking again, but what did you say your last name was? And he goes, Harkins. And it dawned on me. I finally made the connection. I was like, I know where I know you from. And he goes, what's that? And I said, you reffed about 90% of my college hockey games.
No way.
And we happened to put the connection together based off of where I went to school. He was like, oh, you must know like this one set of coaches. And I said, yeah, unfortunately, I had the pleasure of playing for them. And I said it in just that tone.
I believe it.
So you kind of get how my feelings
We're picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah.
And Rob, without missing a beat, he looked down at like my resume and his paperwork, and he looked back up at me and he goes, when can you start?
Let's go.
Because he knew, he was like, all right, if this guy doesn't like those guys in particular, he's good people.
Yeah, I love that. It's cool I can make that connection. That's incredible.
Yeah. And as far as like, just being able to play here now, unfortunately, it doesn't happen too often just because the demands of running a facility are pretty significant.
We take a lot of pride in that kind of thing, too. I mean, that's one of the things I always said about you. I mean, one of the reasons why I want to have this conversation is you take so much pride in what you do, Mike, and it's just absolutely incredible. I mean, that's why.
And we benefit from it. Yeah, we benefit from it immensely.
We will, absolutely.
I appreciate those kind words.
No, seriously. That's straight from the heart.
And, as far as like playing here, that's the one unfortunate thing is like the demands of the job are pretty significant. So playing time here is usually very few and far between. In fact, now that I think about it, so far this season, since we installed our ice back, last June, I actually don't think I've played here yet this season.
Oh, all right. Well,
that's heartbreaking. Heartbreaking.
In any given year,
out there.
Yeah, in any given year, I probably skate here maybe, I don't know, 2 to 4 times a year, give or take.
We'll get him out there.
But yeah, unfortunately, it is kind of far between. But that being said, as far as other rinks in the area, and maybe it's just because it's the design of the building. To me, for this being a community rink, this is probably one of the coolest community rinks to skate in, because when you walk out that tunnel, like, granted, it's not 20,000 people.
No, but still,
mobile arena, but you're in an arena bowl.
Yeah.
So like you skate out, and you're thinking to yourself, like, man, like you're looking around and like, I wonder how loud this place would be if there was 2,200 people sitting in here.
Let's get your take on that, Nick. That's a great point to make, because this is your first time ever hearing that.
Yeah, I mean, that like I said, or as a good word to describe it, it's like once you walk in, you just kind of feel. And like I'm one of those people too. Like I like the older feel of things. So it's like you could feel the age and you could feel the history kind of walking into the building. And like on top of it too, like there is something about being below. Maybe it goes back to our ancestors with the gladiator days.
Yeah,
But like,
gladiator.
maybe that's what it is. It's like sitting at the
I had a
bottom
couple
of the dairy.
gladiators, I think, in my family. I'm gonna have to look at it. Look into that.
I mean, look, I got a little bit of Roman history.
You look
in
like
my-
a gladiator.
But not just seeing like having that elevated seat, I could just imagine with people in it, like what it would feel like being. And you kind of become smaller and they become bigger in a sense. And when you have people looking down on you, it's got like there's added pressure there. It's like everybody can, it's like people could see more because like you go to any other rink, even if you stand ice level, there's things that are getting caught up in the boards that you're not seeing or not catching. Whereas this elevated view, you're seeing everything.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and and it's funny too. Speaking of like imagining how it would be when there's a full crowd in here of like 2,200, because that's roughly what our seating capacity is.
Booming, I can imagine.
Because of the fact that this building is basically all concrete, with the exception of the glass that's around like the perimeter along the roof line, the sound just bounces in here.
I can imagine.
So like I refed being here my first year for the Wharton Novice NBA League. It's all the Wharton MBAs that have never played hockey before.
Shout out.
And dude, they pack this place. Now, when I say pack it, I mean there could be anywhere from about 300 to 500 people.
Still a lot of people.
When a goal was scored,
Oh
when
my
I was
God.
out on the ice, I had my watch on, my Apple Watch, and because of the fact that I work with loud equipment, I have the sound sensitivity setting turned on, where like decibels get to a certain amount, it tells you, hey, cover your ears or wear earplugs, you're going to damage your hearing. Somebody scored a goal, and it registered at almost 115 decibels.
Like that.
Jesus.
For about 500 people. So multiply that by about 4 for 2,200 feet.
The Davidson game
Well,
here.
let me tell you, I watch a lot of the live barn games, and I know just my voice alone would be bouncing off of the walls in this place.
Mm-hmm.
So like I couldn't imagine hearing some because like even some of our beer league games, like maybe 15, 20 guys, they get loud, man. They get loud. But like I do love your story just because like granted it's a chance that you guys knew each other, but it just goes to show like one thing I love about our sport is like the community aspect.
100%.
Like no matter what, it always seems like you end up running into a guy and like in a way that interaction benefits you in your life some way or another. Like, granted, your effort and work says a lot to your work ethic, but there's a good part of that little bit of interaction and past knowledge that could potentially even help, push you over the edge for the job. And it's like, it's just so cool to see like story after story. It always kind of comes full circle where hockey has a way of bringing us all together in ways outside of the ice. So that's awesome.
Yeah, perfectly said.
100% too. And to that same point, with how tight the hockey community is, the ice operations world is even tighter than that.
Love that.
So I'll put it this way. I've experienced a lot in my life, and this is ironic because we're actually catching my boss going out to do an ice cut.
We got Rob out there right now. Get ready to do an ice cut. As we're getting ready to transition out of the show too. How about that?
Yeah.
I think it's starting from the middle. Is that normal? And listen, you guys can see here on the screen. Just doing his thing out there, huh?
Yeah. So I was covering this with my trainee this morning. It's actually ideal that you start an ice cut in a different location every single time. Because if you start it at the same time,
that becomes like your spot.
It has gravity fed water and it's not powered by a pump. Basically, the second that conditioner makes contact with the ice, the blade's cutting right away. It doesn't wait. So the first roughly 30 to 50 feet, if you're not laying water down, you're pulling up more ice than what you're replacing it with. So if you start at a different location each time, you're not shaving too much ice away at every beginning of an ice cut to the point where that one spot is.
Well, he's gonna start doing content.
Yeah, dude, there should be like a YouTube movie or something like that, and call it like the real Ice Guardians, because they are the ones that protect the ice.
Yeah, I think you're on something here.
Because like, don't get me wrong, I love that movie. It was a great movie talking about enforcers and all that, but like, they're the real Ice Guardians. Without the ice, we don't have that game.
So to that point, I can't say too much just yet because we're still kind of in the early stages of it. But there is something that I'm currently working on with a couple of other rink ops guys from various rinks.
We talked off record.
Yeah. And it's still very much in the infancy stages. We've got a lot of our planning and logistics out of the way. So we're going to start, trying to hopefully put some stuff together. And
I love that.
let's just say keep an eye out on our social media channels for the near future.
There-
We're gonna have something coming.
There's a
Like-
great spot for a plug. Make sure you guys go like and follow their page. Because
Absolutely, and that's a great point you make there because we're about an hour in and we're hitting the end of the show. Anything you want to mention? Anything we got coming up here at the rink? Anything with Snyder, anything like that? This is now where you can kind of take the floor and just kind of throw anything out there. Find any social medias at all?
Yeah, so definitely follow us on social media. That's first and foremost, both Instagram and Facebook. 'Cause that's where we post all of our updates, any schedule changes, as well as big events that are coming up. But as far as big events that are coming up, since I mentioned the Wharton MBA program, they have their playoffs coming up. I'm going to forewarn you, it is a novice league, so
We're like a little
it is
novice.
not necessarily the highest skills, but damn it, if they do not have fun.
it's playoff hockey, baby. It's playoff hockey, no matter what.
Get in there.
So that's always an experience. And then more importantly, if you actually live inside the city limits of Philadelphia, something that we added to our facility, I want to say it was about almost 2 years ago. It's something that's very unique. Not a lot of rinks have it. And more importantly, it fills a void that all of the rinks within the city limits of Philadelphia do not have, is the V4 hockey vending machine.
I've told you about this. I need to go make sure I show you this. Before.
Yeah, I gotta check that out. I gotta check that out.
We sold a stick this morning.
Oh!
So we have a vending machine over in the one corner of the arena that actually has things for hockey players. It has things for figure skaters, for spectators. So when you get, the parents that come in and say, "Oh, this is the coldest rink I've ever been in," and it's like, "All right, cool. I got hand warmers in there. I've got
Hand
gloves."
You might be in there, Nick. We might put you in that vending machine.
Hey, referees. Oh, you got a snapped lace? Don't worry. I have specifically referee ice hockey laces that
Whistles?
are all white. I don't have whistles yet.
We're getting whistles.
Yeah.
Not everybody needs a whistle though.
Yeah.
That's
Nope,
the problem.
You have to throw it in your pocket anyway.
Yeah. What are you doing? Jesus.
Ask me how I know that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely a big one because it technically makes us, between that and our Fireball skate sharpener, it really makes us the only rink that has a formal pro shop within the city limits of Philadelphia.
Love
Like
that.
the other rinks you go to, if they're within the city limits, they're like, "Oh yeah, here's like a roll of tape," and it's like, "All right,
Yeah.
cool," but like I need a lace tightener or I need a honing stone. I need one of those green pucks that I can use to practice my stick handling on concrete and asphalt or stick handling ball.
The green biscuit. The green biscuit.
I
Yeah.
just restocked
The green biscuit.
Yeah. I'm familiar. I'm familiar.
I just restocked 3 of them this morning.
We get one of them before we go.
Yeah.
But then also too, there's a wide variety of stick options that you can purchase.
Yeah, we'll go down and we'll take some pictures and we'll post them out on our own socials. And we're gonna make sure we add all the social medias when we upload the show
Mhm.
to our platform wherever you can find it. And
Yeah.
make sure you follow Chirping Pucks. This has been great.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Petrocelli, all the way around.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for doing this. We're back with the boys.
We're back.
We're
We're back.
forward to that. And make sure you follow Chirping Pucks Media and we'll have more updates soon.
Hey guys, Frankie James, the Chirping Pucks podcast.
I mean, he just, I don't know what he's